Hey everyone, it's Jesse with Nintendo Revise, and I'm coming with a very important video today. So it's been brought to my attention of something that I think we need to discuss, and I wanted to do it in video form so that way I can show exactly what the issue actually is. So yesterday I made a video about the NT Creates Gold Archive collection, and this one specifically, whether it was complete on card or not. And of course, I showed the Mighty Gunvolt Burst LRG version and whether or not it was also still complete on card, etc. Now, one thing though, so Mighty Gunvolt Burst LRG is actually with version 1.4.2. This one, which also has Mighty Gunvolt Burst, has version 1.4.3, so it goes up a version number. Now, why is this important? I'm going to show this today. Okay, so first and foremost, if I take my Switch here and I insert the LRG version of the game, give me just a moment here. Now I'm going to try to do this video with no edits because I don't want anything to be missed here. So I'm trying to do it with no edits, so I apologize for any silence that there may be on this video. But let's go ahead and move forward. Alright, so version 1.4.2 is on cartridge, right? There's nothing there, it's archive. And if I run a patch request, it shows I'm using the latest version on the cartridge. Okay, so that's the LRG version. But if I take the collection version, which is the one from Japan, insert it, it brings up the 3 games, but I'm only focusing on Mighty Gunvolt Burst. This one now has version 1.4.3. Nothing archived, software, request via the internet, no updates available. Okay, now I'm going to show y'all something, and this is where the important part comes in. Now, I've brought in my son's Nintendo Switch here. Okay. Now, I'm going to use this gold archive version of the game. Alright, sorry about that. He has Mario Maker in the Switch. Okay. Alright. So let's go ahead and try. I'm just going to create a new user here. Name him 1. Okay. Later, we'll link that later. Okay. So, Mighty Gunvolt Burst. This is the one with version 1.4.3. Now, when I try to run this game, okay, it's running it, right? That's great. No issues here. But what if... Now remember, I ran this game on version 1.4.3. Okay? But what if I now take the LRG copy and try to run this game? And it has version 1.4.2. Look at that. A software update is now required. Update data will be downloaded now. Okay, here's the issue. We can't update it because there is no patch. Do y'all see where this could be a problem in the future? Okay, so I'm putting this video out as a PSA. Now, for me personally, I'm not going to lie to y'all. This does not affect me in any way. The reason why is because I plan to keep the gold archive collection, and I'm selling this one. I don't want to keep the older version. I'm keeping just the newer version, okay? That's just me, though. I do know, though, that there's going to be various different scenarios depending on the person of where they're might want to keep the old cartridge as well as the new one. Or there could be various different other scenarios out there. I'm not going to go over everything here. Obviously, I don't know what your specific scenario is. But the reason why I wanted to still put this out is because if you want to keep the old cartridge, in my scenario, say Mighty Gunvolt Burst from Limited Run, and you want that game to still be functional, then do not, I repeat, do not run the game under this new cartridge. Now, let me show you. Just by merely inserting the cartridge into this switch, my other switch here, just by merely inserting the cartridge, it doesn't affect anything. So here's my LRG copy, okay? And you can see it's version 1.4.2. That's the previous version, okay? But I still haven't ran the game. Okay, so I can go over here and it'll still run. See, it's still running. And y'all saw me earlier inserting this cartridge, the new one from the collection. And I'll insert it again just to show. Okay, this has version 1.4.3 software, but I'm not running it though. I'm not running the game. I can still reinsert my LRG cart, and it's still going to work with version 1.4.2. But that's the key here. If you run the game, and I showed it on my son's switch down here, if you run the game, it'll stop you from continuing with that specific version, because now the switch remembers that you have ran a newer version on the switch. So again, I ran version 1.4.3, and now it's not going to reverse back to 1.4.2. Okay, what games could potentially have this issue? Now, I only know of a few, and there's probably going to be tons more out there, but I only know of a few. And the ones that I'm going to mention is, of course, Mighty Gunvolt Burst, Gato Roboto through Special Reserve. They put out a reprint, and it has a revision 001 on the back of the cartridge. That one has version 1.0.6 on cart. The game was just re-released recently through a retail pack. Now, this retail pack also includes Gunbrella, and it includes Demon Throttle. That new print is now to version 1.0.7 for Gato Roboto. So it also has the same issue because Gato Roboto 001 has not received a new patch update. So it's also going to do the same thing. Another game is Demon Throttle. Demon Throttle itself also got a standalone release. The retail version in that triple pack also goes up a version number. And because of that, that also has that issue as well. So keep that in mind. And there's probably a lot more games that do this. Now, with that said, there's going to be games out there where you get a reprint with a newer version number, but at least there is a patch out there for you to patch it up. So that means that the cartridge will still be usable because you can just update your switch and download the patch. In this specific scenario, under certain circumstances, certain games do not have new patches available, and therefore it makes that older cart unusable. And again, I hate to do this to y'all, but I want to just show I already ran it on version 1.4.3 on this switch here, this blue one. And if I try to run it, download the patch, there is no patch available though. And so it's not usable. Now, the only thing that I can think of that could circumvent this a little bit, well, for one, don't run the game if you want to use an older cartridge. That's the first thing. Number two, there may be a way to like match version numbers. So like, for example, if I have version 1.4.3 here, I wonder, and I'm doing this in real time, y'all, so I'm not really sure. Transfer save data. there a way to match? Oh, match version with local user, maybe? Okay. So let's see. Let's create a group and try this out. So, match version with local user. Join group. Jesse switch. All right, let's try this. Again, I'm doing this in real time. I'm trying not to edit anything out here, so we'll see. It still shows 1.4.2. No, that didn't work. Okay, so let me try that again with the cart inserted. Match version with local. Create group. Match version with local user. Let's join group. Start communication. Okay, so oh, now it does actually show 1.4.3 because I had the cart inserted. And as y'all can see, I can now archive the software. So it did download something. And now, okay, now it actually runs. Okay, so there you go. There is a workaround for this issue, and that's one way to do it. And again, I kind of just did it here live, so I apologize for this video being a little bit lengthy here, but it's something that we need to try to figure out, and that's one way to actually do it. Another thing too is that you would have to reset the switch back to system factory, and that's another way that you can reverse back to an old version. So that's one way, or you could do it the way that I just did it, which is downloading the supposed patch from the old version over to the new one, the way that I just did. Now let's see here how big this patch was that it downloaded. So for Mighty Gunvolt Burst, it downloaded a 26.2 megabyte patch from that switch over to this one. So anyway, I just wanted to put this out really quickly because I feel like this is important. Now for me specifically, this doesn't affect me. I've already said this before. I'm gonna sell the old copy of Mighty Gunvolt Burst, and I'm just gonna keep the new one. I don't have a need to keep both personally, but there are going to be scenarios or collectors out there that would want to keep the old copy as well as the new one. And I'm not gonna lie, one specific game that I do want to do that with is Gato Roboto, and the reason why is because that game got reprinted, and I've already discussed this on the channel, but with Gato Roboto, I actually fought really hard to get that game reprinted. Special Reserves was not willing to do that at first, and I fought really hard to get that game reprinted, and we actually got it to go through. And because of that, I somewhat see Gato Roboto Special Reserves as a bit of a trophy for me. So I haven't purchased the triple pack yet, the one that has Gunbrella and Demon Throttle. But once I do want to keep the old Special Reserve copy, and I would like to use it. And now I kind of know what to look forward to. Either not run the game from the new cartridge so that I could still use the old one, or I could do this method here that I just showed on video. So there are some options here, and I'm kind of rambling at this point, so I apologize, but I feel like this is important and it needs to be discussed. So there you go. If you have any questions whatsoever, as always, please comment in the comment section down below, and I'll be happy to answer it as best as I can. Otherwise, again, this was just a PSA that I wanted to put out there. I felt that it was important to discuss. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll talk to you all. Excuse me, I will talk to y'all again soon. Again, this is Jesse with Nintendo Revised, out.